Hello pretties, welcome to Viv's World. I am so happy you're here. My name is Vivi. Anyway, I'm so happy you're here because we're filming the Eyeshadow Palette Tag and I'm really excited. I saw Samantha March and Allie Glines film this video post this video a couple of weeks ago. Then I saw Kelly Gooch do it and then everybody did it. And I'm a little late to the party because I was waiting on this one order to arrive. So yeah. Anyway, before we get started, please do not forget to like and subscribe. So Samantha and Allie came up with 13 questions which talk about all of your eyeshadow palettes and whatnot. And I just love eyeshadow palettes. Who doesn't? This is definitely my number one problem area in my makeup collection. By far, like so far more than any other part of my collection, I struggle with eyeshadow. So let's just get started, okay? There's 13 questions, so yeah. All right, so number one is your newest palette, and that is the Colourpop So Jaded. So this literally just arrived 2 days from when you're watching this video, which is yesterday for me on May 19th. This just arrived. I had ordered it back in March, but it just arrived because Colourpop had shut down and then they just recently opened up again and then they finally sent it. Now I've only used this one time, which was this morning, and I'm really enjoying it. I swatched all the colors to put in all over my spreadsheets and whatnot, and some of these colors are some of the most unique shades I've ever had, which I'm super excited for. There's a lot of greens. I love greens and yellows. I think because I have very olive undertone kind of, they kind of just pop on me and they look very good. And I have brown eyes, which makes them pop even more. So I'm super excited for this palette. I am a little nervous about this two thick glitters right here, but we'll see how that goes. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Anyway, So Jaded, my newest palette. I'm super excited for it. Moving on. Your oldest palette. That is the L'Oreal Los Angeles Cat's Pajamas. I got this palette when it first came out. Literally the day it launched, I was up there. It was like midnight and I was like ready to click. I don't think it was that late, but I bought it the day it launched, okay? And I bought it in October of 2017. So that being said, my entire eyeshadow collection is relatively recent. It's not too old. But this is it. I've hit pan on one shade. I have some pretty good dips in all of the matte shades, which there's only 4 of them, unless you count the black, which, come on, there's no way I'm gonna have a dip on that black. Although it is a really nice black and I've used it quite a bit, but there's no way in hell I'm gonna have a dip on that black. Who are we kidding? But it's a really pretty, it's a neutral palette. I don't know why this color story always reminded me of the Modern Renaissance, because it has those like pinky purplies and it has those warm tone neutrals, but it's a really pretty palette. Every day I've traveled with it and it was amazing. What I don't like is the mirror. Sorry about all that, but it's just the shape of it. It's a little weird. I wish it was just like a straight, but other than that, a lot of people have had issues with this palette. I personally didn't, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. This is my oldest palette. All right, moving on to your most expensive palette, and that is going to be the L'Oreal Los Angeles Nudie Patootie. This baby is $45. It makes it the most expensive palette that I own, which also tells you I don't have a very expensive makeup collection, which I'm okay with. I like to buy on a budget, good quality. That's why I don't have a lot of products, because I want to make sure that what I am getting, I've seen a lot of reviews on and they're good quality, and that way I don't have as much things that I'm having to declutter or anything like that, because I'm getting good quality products in my collection from the get-go. So I'm very selective. Smart consumerism. Anyway, I got on a little rant there, but $45 for the Nudie Patootie. It is a very neutral palette, very neutral. I know there's a lot of glare with this palette. I know when it first came out, a lot of people were like, well, what is it? Because the promotion photos looked one way, but then her reveal video looked a different way. The palette itself is kind of duochrome, because that's kind of what she's trying to do with these 2 shades right here. They're duochrome. So the palette itself is duochrome. And if I hit it on a certain light, it looks bronze. And if I hit it on a certain light, it looks like a rose gold. It's really rose gold. But if you just hit it in the right lighting, it doesn't have to be. It's a very neutral palette. I love it. I love the little pinks and yellows. Like I said, I love yellows. It doesn't lean too warm. It doesn't lean too cool. There's about 1 or 2 shades in both ends. But I think this is just an everyday neutral palette. To me, this screams like bold eye, neutral eyes, bold lip. It's literally my motto, my makeup motto. Not that I'm doing it right now, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. I'm a neutral bitch, and I'm okay with that. All right, I am totally okay with it. Moving along, your most affordable palette. I know a lot of people had the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. I don't own those, nor am I planning to own those. But the Proceed with Caution ColourPop X Shayla, this is my cheapest palette. It is $12. If I can open it, I will get it for you. There it is. It's nine shades, real easy. Now, I know that the ColourPop formula is super powdery as it is, but this is next level. This gives me like subculture vibes, like the original videos that came out and people were like tapping in and like, I don't know, you had like a party or something with all that, with all that fallout. I don't know what I'm saying. It's still really blendable, really pigmented, but the powderiness of this formula on this specific palette it's next level. I've never experienced that before. Can I still work with it? Yes. What I'm having to do is, as I barely tap one time and then I put it on the mirror to like really put it inside the brush, and then I tap a little bit, and that's how I make it work. So if you have issues with that palette, that's what I recommend to you. All right, moving along. So your everyday palette. I was going back and forth between this one and the Give It To Me Straight from ColourPop, but I ended up going with the L'Oreal Los Angeles Nudie Patootie. I said it already. I'm a neutral bitch. This a neutral bitch. We're neutral together, and we're bitches. All right, I'm gonna try not to cuss the entirety of this video, so I'm gonna stop that right there. But this is my everyday palette. I think there's so much you can do with it. I said neutral look, neutral eyes, bold lip is literally my summer motto, so I love this palette for everyday use. Okay, moving along to your most colorful palette. And I was thinking about putting this So Jaded palette for this one because there is a lot of colors in there, but in itself, it's really more like neutral and half colorful. So it's like my most colorful palette, like all of it is color. I decided to go with the L'Oreal Los Angeles Party Animal. There's only 6 shades, but they're all very, very colorful. There's like a yellow, green, lime. It's hard to... It can be like a transformer shade, really. There's this turquoise or like light blue. There's this deep royal blue, one orange, one pink, and then this like, duochrome purpley pink. It's very, very pretty. The duochrome in this is... I don't even know how to explain it. It is so good. I'll just swatch it. I wasn't planning on swatching anything today, but I guess I am. I don't know that you're going to be able to see it because I don't have the best camera. But yeah, there's like, it's... all the shimmers are purple, but the undertone is pink. It is so interesting. I've never, but anyway, it's a really pretty palette. It's my most colorful palette. Yeah, moving on. All right, your smallest palette. This was a huge tie between all of my L'Oreal Los Angeles mini palettes. So I own the Party Animal. There is Sleigh Belle as well as Boss Babe, and then also Proceed with Caution. If I were to, I'm going to use a different color palette. It's just that they're different shapes. This one's a rectangular, this is more of a square. So as you can see, the Proceed with Caution kind of sticks out over here at the top. Then this label kind of sticks out here. I feel like if we were to cut this part and put it on this top section right here, they will probably be the same size. It's just the shape's a little different. But yeah, they're all small. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. All right, your biggest palette. So a lot of people I saw put the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, and I do own that palette. Yes, it is big, but it's not nearly as big as my 24G. This is a big girl. She's thick with 2 C's, okay? She's thick. That being said, technically the Jaclyn Hill has more shades, it's 35, and this one only has 24, but they're so big. Like, look at this. They're really big shades. I actually had this in my pie project pan, and had to take it out. I'm like, I had to give up. Like, I couldn't possibly think about trying to hit pan on one of these. They're massive, massive. And I think the reason why they came up with them is that they were originally thinking that they were going to be able to be multi-purpose on your face as well as your eyes. I've never multi-purposed it, but I know that that's what they were coming up with. I feel like this is going to be similar size to like the 39 pan shadows that they have. I haven't like compared them, but I feel like that's similar size to that. It's big. She's a thick girl, okay? That's all I gotta say. So, moving along. Your palette with the best memory. This was really, really hard for me because I don't usually associate memories to items and specifically makeup. So that was very difficult for me to try to do that. And I decided on the, give it to me straight. I went on vacation with my boyfriend and his family about 2 years ago, and I took this palette with me. We went to New Mexico, and at that time I was really stressed out. I was having a hard time at work, and I really just needed a break, and the trip was really good for me. And so I took this palette with me. However, that being said, I don't really look at this palette and think of that trip. I just know I took it with me on that trip. I just don't usually associate memories to makeup. I apparently am the only one because I saw everybody had like this like really good stories. Jocelyn, sorry guys, I gotta fix my, there you go. Jocelyn even talked about her grandpa buying her this last palette, and she actually had thrown out the palette but decided to keep the tint from it. It was a very cute story. I don't have any memories like that. I usually buy my own makeup or use excuses like birthdays and Christmas to let my boyfriend buy me makeup so I don't have to spend money on myself. But it's just not something that I do. I feel kind of weird that apparently I'm the only one that's like that, but it is what it is. Okay, a palette worth the hype. So I have two for this category. And I know this first one is going to have some controversy, so I'm just gonna say it and get it out of the way. The Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette. Say what you want about Jaclyn, say what you want about Morphe. This is a really good palette. Personally, I don't buy from Morphe anymore. Not because of them in particular, it's because I don't know if they are cruelty free or not, so I just want to cut my losses. I own these two palettes from them. I've decluttered a lot of them to my mom. My mom loves Morphe, but I haven't bought anything else from them. This is it. And again, Jaclyn's had a lot of drama. A lot of drama. I personally don't really subscribe to Jaclyn, so I don't know. I've never been subscribed to her, so like I don't really know. But I do think this is a really, really great. This is a really great palette. Also, just a side note that I've just thought about it. I've actually bought a few collabs that she's done with like Becca and obviously Morphe, and I bought the other, like the Vault. I bought one of those palettes for my sister. Say what you want about her, but she has really good taste. All of the collabs that I've seen that she's come out with, I feel like she has really, really good taste in makeup. And most of the stuff that she's come out with are pretty good. Now, I don't know about her own brand, but with other brands, I've just seen really good stuff. Another thing that I want to mention is that apparently, if you didn't buy this on the very first launch date, the formula supposedly has changed. Now, personally, I bought my palette in 2018, which that makes me believe that I don't have the original formula. And my palette's still really good. The shadows blend really well. They're all super pigmented. The metallics are very high shine, very metallic. I don't have any struggle with pigment or them sticking in my eye. I personally don't have any problems with this formula. I know it's not the original. The original must have been like the best thing on earth, because I think this is really great. Like, this is really great formula, and I know it's not the original one, so I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any issues with it. But I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. I can tell you that I, from time to time, go on YouTube and like search for tutorials with my palettes. And the Jaclyn Hill palette, to this day, like I Googled it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was somebody that had just come out with a brand new tutorial on this palette just the week before. And every time I look it up, there's always new ones. People are still using the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. It's a really, really good formula. Really good palette. Highly recommend it. That being said, my other one is the Persona Identity 2. This is newer to me. I just got it. My boyfriend had bought it for me. Now, aside from this color story, which I will say that the colors here are definitely a little deeper than what there are in the pan. I've never tried Persona Cosmetics formula before, but this is a really, really good formula. Like, I've never had the mattes are pigmented, blendable. Like, I've never had the shadow that's this pigmented be so blended, like blendable. Ooh, Tati's trying to come for me. She's thinking of me. Right, like she knows who I am. Anyway, not the point. The point is they're very pigmented, but yet still so you can blend them so well, which is very rare. Usually it's one or the other. They're either buildable or they're pigmented. It's not usually both, and that's not the case. Also, this metallics are so beautiful. You don't need to wear your brush. Usually with like metallics, I usually put my finger because that usually gives me a better application. But with this, I can do it with a brush, no problem. Let me tell you, I gave myself a black smoky eye, and what I do is I put a base underneath. I did not need to do that with this black. I could put it just the straight matte with a brush, and it gave me the same intensity I would have gotten that if I put like a gel or something underneath to like make it stick. So good. That's all I gotta say. So good. The formula is next level. The colors leave something to be desired, but the formula of Persona is very impressive. That's all I gotta say. All right, moving on, because we've spent a lot of time there. A palette worth the hype. Oh, not worth the hype. And this is gonna be a hot take because I know people love this palette, but I'm gonna go with the ColourPop Sweet Talk. Is this a beautiful palette? Hell yes. Is this a great color story? Absolutely. It is right up my alley. But I do feel like the color story can get a little old because you only have two options. You either go warm or you go very coral pink. If that's your thing, you're gonna love this palette. If that's not your thing, you're gonna love it. I also don't love that they have two glitters. Like I said, I get a little paranoid about glitters. I don't know how much I'm gonna get use out of those two, but I mean, this is still a great palette, and I still love it, and I've used it, and when I've used it, I really liked it. But I do think it's overhyped. I don't think it deserved all the hype. I think Samantha March said it was like her best palette of like 2019, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. It's still very pretty. I'm very glad I have it. I just don't think it's worth all that hype. Moving along. Your favorite palette from your favorite brand, and that's clearly ColourPop. And I went to Give It To Me Straight. It is very versatile palette. I said it, I'm a neutral bitch. That's it, I'm a neutral bitch, okay? You have your warm tones, you have your more maroons, you have some cools in there. This shade's really weird. A lot of people thought it was like a brown shade, but it's not. It actually leans a little pink. And I think that's why they have it, so it can help you transition this one right here, which is TMI. Again, this palette also gives me Modern Renaissance vibes. Just like, I don't know, it gives me Modern Renaissance vibes. It's a really good palette. I really enjoyed it. The formula is great. Like I said, I've traveled with it. It's super easy. You can literally do almost any look that you can think of with this palette alone. So yeah. All right. Actually, before I move on, I will say that the So Jaded has a very, very good chance of dethroning this eyeshadow palette right here, but I just haven't tested it enough. I'm just gonna put that out there. All right, moving on. That's going to your most used palette, and I put the Cat's Pajamas. And this is an issue that I know about my own eyeshadow palette. None of my eyeshadow palettes look like they've been used and abused. They've been used, but they've definitely not been abused. And I want to abuse my eyeshadow palettes. That sounds wrong, and I'm aware of that, but it's true. I want to abuse them. I want to hit pan on them. I did this calculation on my spreadsheets and to see how much like percentage of like pan I've hit, similar to like what Too Much Tosh does in her eyeshadow roulette series. It is pathetic. It is like 4%. I'm like embarrassed to say that number out loud. I have less than 4% eyeshadow in all my eyeshadows that I own. That is so pathetic. So next year, I'm definitely not doing a pan that palette. I'm gonna do those eyeshadow roulette. I need to give my eyeshadows more love. I want to abuse them, okay? I want to be in an abusive relationship with my eyeshadow palettes. Me, obviously, being the abuser. That sounds so wrong. And I immediately regretted it as soon as I said it. I probably shouldn't have said that. I might even cut that out of the video. But you know what I'm trying to say, okay? I really want to give them more love. They all look like this. None of them look exceptionally like bitten down. The only one that I can think of is the ColourPop Q8 Yes Please palette. And that's the main reason. It has nothing to do with me and more to do with the packaging. It's just one of those self mattes and it's white, so all the shadow sticks to it. If it wasn't because of that, it would look the same as all the others. It would look almost pristine. Now granted, I do have a little pan in there, but yeah. My most used palette is by far the Cat's Pajamas. It's also my oldest palette. For a little while, this and the Tarte's Pro palette were my only two palettes, and I definitely preferred this one over that one. I've actually panned that palette last year, so I finished it. I don't have it anymore. That's not the problem. The problem is I need to use my palettes some more. I want to give them more love. That's it. I'm just rambling at this point. I hope you like. Please subscribe, and I would love to see you at my next video. Bye, guys.